We want 100,000 veterans at a minimum to sign that they have reaffirmed their oath to this nation and to its people. And remind folks that our Constitution is who we swear our oath to for the sake of the American people. We as veterans have a special relationship with the people of this country, and we look forward to seeing you on Newsmax Saturday, Tuesday, and Thursday, and having well more than 100,000 veterans reaffirm their oath to this nation.
As we head into Veterans Day week, we are honored to have two veterans and friends of Newsmax join us this morning. Former C-17 combat commander and United States Deputy Military Representative to NATO, General Blaine Holt, and the Executive Director of RestoreLiberty.org, Lieutenant Colonel Darren Gaub. Good morning, gentlemen, and thank you both for your service. Appreciate you being here.
Thanks very much.
So, thanks. Good morning.
General, I want to start with you. Two statistics trending in the wrong direction. Suicide rates in the military and among veterans are up, and morale is way down. I talked to a lot of folks between Afghanistan, CRT, in the military, now the vaccine mandate. How hard is it becoming to get people to serve, to recruit folks, and even to re-up? And how do we turn that around?
So it is hard, and I want to just make a really quick differentiation between the concept of morale, how you feel about what you're doing and your day-to-day attitude towards your work, and professionalism, because they're two very different things, and I think they need to be discerned. Professionalism means that you pick up that rifle, put that uniform on, and you go to work, and you follow orders, and you stay within your oath to the Constitution. Morale is how you feel about things. And eventually that leads to a place where when your hitch is up or your enlistment's up, you can vote with your feet. You can say, well, you know, the things are not in the direction that I want them to. From what I hear from the active duty and total force vets that are there now, it seems that CRT and vax policies weigh very heavily on them. But I will say that the summer events we saw in Afghanistan are very powerful. Yeah. And those contribute to the suicide rate as well. There's a lot of people struggling with issues over 20 years of warfare that get them to that very dark place. Yeah. And as vets and as a family of 17 million vets, we just want to reach out and grab them and do whatever we can do to support them.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Colonel, your organization, it educates about the role of the Constitution and natural rights. What is your main goal?
Yes, thank you. And our main goal really is to do, as you said, is to educate a lot of people across the country on the Constitution and what it really means, because a lot of us in the military will end up taking an oath to a Constitution. And if you don't really understand what you're fighting for, and the rights that are inherent to every single American, it is difficult to get a lot of veterans and a lot of other people around the country to truly understand what it is that we as veterans are standing in the way of, and that is tyranny, whether it be here or anywhere around the world.
Absolutely. General, service members that refuse the vaccine, they're facing dishonorable discharge and they could lose their veterans benefits. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, for them to look at that type of peril and yet they still go through with that choice, that should send a very powerful message. I mean, you know, they have families, they have to take care of them. A dishonorable discharge means that your opportunities for not just employment, but loans and all kinds of other things are very powerful. So I really would urge today's military leaders, both civilian and uniformed, to take another look at that type of policy. You know, nobody came in and said we're going to take there's going to be a vaccine mandate on an untested, unproven, untrialed vaccine. That wasn't part of the deal when they came in. So I would, if it's their choice and their moral choice to not do that, we have to respect their choices. And then I wouldn't damage them on the way out the door.
Back in 2003 or 2004, when I was overseas, for the Pentagon in Iraq, I had an opportunity to attend a re-enlistment ceremony on the grounds of one of Saddam Hussein's bombed out palaces. And it is a very, very powerful moment when you see these young men and women raise their hand and swear to defend this country. And so I'm so glad that about what you're doing, because it really is. It's the backbone of how we keep this country safe. Colonel, you served 4 tours in Afghanistan. What does Veterans Day mean to you?
Yeah, Veterans Day, frankly, and we're just going to start calling it Veterans Week, frankly. Veterans Day is everything, and there's 17 million veterans in this country, and it's a recognition of that service by every single one of them of all ages to this country. Whether they went overseas or not doesn't matter. There are so few people who serve. So for me, it is critical to remember the service of those millions of people and remember that there is a special relationship between America's veteran population and the people of this country and the Constitution under which we all live and serve.
Yeah, absolutely. In general, you see so many of these veterans, whether they're retired or, they continue to serve. I mean, they continue. Yeah. You saw so many men and women go and try and help get people out of Afghanistan. It's just to see these men and women and what they do. General, how would you like to see Veterans Day celebrated in America, and what does this day mean to you?
I think it's a great time for reflection about national service. There's so many ways that as Americans, whether we wore a uniform or didn't wear a uniform, we can look at what example the veterans have set for us over many, many years of operations, securing the freedom of our country. And we can look inward and we can say, well, what's my role as an American? What are my responsibilities to the Constitution? I see all these veterans reaffirming their oaths because an oath has no expiration in our book. But what can I now give to the country, and where would I best put my efforts?
All right, thank you, General Blaine Holt and Lieutenant Colonel Darren Gaub, for your service, what you're doing this week, and God bless all of those who've worn the uniform. Appreciate you being here.
Thank
you so much.
Coming up after the break, a 9-year-old boy beats brain cancer and says legendary football player Tom Brady was his inspiration. He even got a little gift from the star quarterback, and we're going to speak to that young man, Noah Reeb, next. You're watching Wake Up America Weekend, only on Newsmax.